Shout out to everybody. Shout out to everybody on the stream, baby. If I can see your messages, shout out. Oh, come on, man. Come on. Not again. Shout out to everybody, as you guys can see. And let me check it right here, make sure it's working. Let's do that. Try this again, y'all. Try this again. Give it a few seconds. Give it a few seconds. Give it a few seconds. Yo, is it working? Give it a few seconds. All right. So it's a little lag, but we gonna make it do what it do, baby. We're gonna make it do what it do. As you guys can see, I am in the guard shack because my current job right now is doing this line of work. Gotta do what you gotta do at the end of the day. You gotta do what you gotta do at the end of the day. Now, just to give you guys a little background, I'm qualified to do more than this. Meaning, I have not only experience, but I have the education to do more than this present job that I'm doing. But, you know, things in life happens. Things in life do occur. So you have to do what you have to do to support, especially when you got people that are dependent on you. And I do have people that are dependent on me, so it's on me to provide for them. I have to do that. But I did go to school, got the education and the job, got the education so that I can take advantage of the American dream. What they told me, what is necessary for me, take advantage of the American dream. What the baby boomers, the black baby boomers, my family told me. They said, Jay, go to school, get a degree so that you can have a good job. That is what they said to me. And I said, is that all it takes? And I thought, yes, I believed them. I believed them because they were, 1 second, y'all. They were, y'all see me? I believed them because they were successful. I mean, they had the nice house in the hills. They had nice cars. They were able to go on vacations. And so I had to believe them because they were the proof of this. They were the proof. The proof was in them. The proof was their current situation. And so I said, okay, well, if that's what it's if that is what it takes, that is what I'm going to do. Let's see, how can we? I'm using, see, this OBS stuff. Let's see it. When it starts messing up, it starts messing up. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that'll work. Nope. That'll make it better. Oh well. But look. So yeah, I believe my elders because I look to them as successful. I look to them as successful. And so because of them, I went to get an education. I didn't have any direction on what type of education I was getting. I was just getting a degree. Because I said, just go get the degree. Go get the degree, and that's it. It don't matter what type of degree you get. It can be an underwater basket weaving or whatever. If you guys see me looking off, it's because I am still working. So I had to observe and report. So I went and I got a degree in finance. And how did I get the degree in finance? Well, finance is one of the options. The main degree is business administration. But what literally happened was I went in to the university, the business department, and then I said to them, it was a professor that was coming out. I said to the professor, excuse me, can you tell me what degree pays the most? Like what in the business department, what would pay me the highest? He said finance. And probably the reason why he was saying finance is because he was actually a finance professor. I didn't know that until I had to take, I think, one of her class. But she was saying finance because she's a finance professor. Now, I'm not going to say finance doesn't pay, but oftentimes there, the other aspect of it is you being a black male, black heterosexual male in a whitey dominated industry or field. That is a complication. That is an added step, because for the white male, get a degree in finance, it might work better for him because he already has a network that he can just draw into. He has a network that he can draw into, which is his fellow older white males. But a black male doesn't have that because there's not a lot of black males on the top in the financial world. If you look at all the banking investment firms and all those hedge fund managers and all those things, when you look at all of those executive positions, they're dominated by older white males. So the black male has to go above and beyond to prove himself or even get in, whereas the white male may have it a little bit better and easier because he already has that network. So I'm not going to say that finance doesn't pay, but what I'm going to say is that if I didn't have the connections for the protection, which made it a complication, if you get what I'm saying. So while I was in university studying, I had to pay bills. I was living on my own. I didn't live in the dorm. I had an apartment, had bills to pay. So I took a job that I thought was easy. The job that I thought was easy was based on what I seen when I was working at a warehouse. And I remember I came in and I would see the guard. He always had his head down, the guard that checked us in, right? One day I looked over on his desk. I said, "Oh, what are you doing?" He said, "Oh, I'm studying for school." That's when the idea popped in my head. Like, oh, there it is. There it is. There it is. If I can get paid to study, because if I would have continued doing that warehouse work and try to go to school, it would be very hard. It would be difficult because I'd be tired. And after work, I got to try to find the hours of study and all this and that. So, but this job, a security guard, I saw the perfect opportunity. It's a low barrier of entry. It doesn't take a lot to become a security guard. So all you got to do is just get your guard card, at least in the state of California. And I was in the door. And that's what I was doing while I was going through university. And I completed it. When I got out, I did try to find a job in finance. That didn't work. You know, like I said, those gatekeepers, those things that are barriers, especially if you're strong, dominant black male. But I do recall one professor, a Hispanic math professor. I don't recall his name, but I remember he was my calculus professor. And he said one day that you should major in engineering and minor in business. I did. I switched my study after that, but some things happened, some complications happened, and if you don't know about engineering, mechanical engineering or any type of engineering, the math is very heavy. It's a very heavy math degree. So you're going to take calculus 1, 2, 3. You're going to take physics. You're going to take all those physics 1, 2, 3. You're going to take all that, and you got to really be prepared for it, and you got to be ready to study hard. And when the things happen, some complications happen in my life personally, I kind of lost the focus, the drive. So I end up switching back to what was easy, and this is the results of it. But this ain't a personal story about me. What I'm going to talk about today is how AI is going to replace all of this. All of this. And what is going to, the base that I'm going to use for this is an article that I found on the New York Times. Let me see what y'all saying. If I can see the chat. Chat is still tripping. Come on, YouTube. It's not even YouTube. It's the studio. I'm gonna get it right the next time, y'all. I'm gonna get it right. Okay, let's do this. Let's take that down. Let's take that down. I'll just watch it on here. So yeah, that's what I'm going to talk about today on this article that I came across on New York Times, and you guys will see it pretty soon. You guys will see it pretty soon. Here we go. I'll just watch it on here. So yeah, that's what I'm going to talk about today. This article that I came across on New York Times. Let's do that. So yeah, The article is right here. As you guys can see, close that. Meta to cut 10% of workforce in AI push. The layoffs affect about 8,000 employees, with Meta also planning to close 6,000 open roles as the company focuses on artificial intelligence. Now, Meta plans to cut 10% of its workforce, or roughly 8,000 employees, and close another 6,000 open roles, according to an internal memo on Thursday, as the company spends heavily on developing artificial intelligence. Meta, which owns Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, employed more than 78,000 people at the end of 2025. Mark Zuckerberg, Meta's chief executive, has said he expects much of the work done in technology industry to eventually be overtaken by AI-powered systems, including coding assistants that help engineers write software. We're doing this as a part of our continued effort to run the company more efficiently and to allow us to offset the other investments we are making, Janelle Galley, Meta's chief people officer, said in a memo to employees. This is not an easy trade-off, and it will mean letting go of people who have made meaningful contributions to Meta during their time here. So, as we can see, this is all, to me, this is all jumbo. What it's really about, it is about being more efficient, but it's about making more money. That's all it's about. It's about making more money, and how one of the biggest costs of most corporate 500 corporations, Fortune 500 corporations, is wages, is employee wages, benefits, all that. So if they can eliminate that cost, that will enable them to make more of a profit for their shareholders, because that's why they exist. The main purpose, the main goal of these Fortune 500 companies and all these companies, Facebook, Apple, all these tech companies, Tesla, Amazon, they call those the FANG stocks. I think they still call it FANG. The main goal is to maximize shareholders' profit, maximize shareholders' equity and investment and all that stuff. They do that. They can do that by cutting the wages, cutting the workforce. And that's the ultimate goal. There is no morals in this. There's no morals. There's no empathy. It's all about profit. And that's what I talked about in my last video, my upload, is that capitalism is a ruthless, moralless system. And this is what's going to happen, even to this. I was talking to another individual who worked in this guard shack with me, and I'm trying to explain to her, because a lot of people don't want to believe it, especially people that don't really pay attention to things. Like they more focused on the day-to-day problems. They're more concerned about social media and what's viral right now and all, a bunch of nonsense, right? So what I'm trying to explain to her is that, because she looked, I think an electrical semi truck came in. She was like surprised to see it. And I had already seen those like a long time ago, like 2 or 3 years ago. But she was surprised to see it. And so it led me to say, that we as well are going to be replaced by robots. The whole security industry all of this is going to be replaced by robots. And I went ahead and I pulled up a video on the Optimus Tesla robot, how it was doing, karate moves and all this kung fu. I even showed the Chinese robots. And I said, all these companies going to do is they're going to put the AI in these robots, these humanoid robots that are already here. They're already doing work. And the AI, the security companies, all the major security companies, all the big ones, Securitas, Ally, all the big ones, they're just going to have about 1,000 robots. 1,000, they're going to invest in about 1,000. Each company, maybe a little bit lesser, but they're going to invest because you got to think about it. Security guard work is shift work. It's shift work. You got the morning shift, you got the swing shift, you got the grave shift. That's 3 human beings per each shift, right? But with one robot, that's all you need. One AI robot can do all those shifts. So you can subtract 3 people, and just use one robot that's going to work 24/7, 365, and only downtime it needs is to recharge itself. That's it. That's all you're going to need. And I'm trying to explain this to her, and it seems like a lot of people don't want to believe it. I know, because it sounds like doom and gloom. It sounds bad, but it is a reality. It's a reality that we are going to have to deal with very soon. From the truck driving jobs, everything, right? So let me continue reading this. Across the technology industry, companies have been laying off employees as they experiment with AI. In February, Block, the financial technology company that owns Square, Cash App, and Tidal, said it was cutting 40%. 40%. That's almost half. It's cutting 40% of its workforce as it embraced new AI tools. Microsoft on Thursday said it was offering buyouts to 7% of its workforce as it invests in AI. Mark Zuckerberg is reorganizing his company around AI products. In a fierce race to lead in technology against rivals like OpenAI, Google, and Anthropic, he has made no secret of his AI ambitions and describes developing AI-powered social media products that are a kind of personal super intelligence that he hopes people will incorporate into their daily lives. At Meta, we have the resources to build the massive infrastructure required and the ability to deliver new technology to billions of people, Mark Zuckerberg said in a video posted to his Facebook page in July. Yeah, so, I remember watching that the investors meeting for Tesla, and how when Elon Musk came out to present at the investors meeting for Tesla, he said his goal is going to be to create, I think, like 1 billion or 5 billion robots and have them out very soon. And basically, when these robots are out there, his goal is that, and he's saying that he's said it in many interviews, that his goal is to replace the workforce so that people won't have to work no more. And so basically what's going to happen is when people don't have to work, they're going to have to find a way to deal with it, right? And this is what, when I was talking to this, I think she's an FBA sister. I think she's black. I mean, when I was talking to her about this, she was like, well, what they going to do with us? What they go, she didn't see, because it don't, a lot of people still can't grasp how evil the people that really run this world are, right? With that guy, what's his name, Schwab, saying that, I can't think of the quote, but basically what he said, I'm paraphrasing, he said, you will have nothing and be happy about it. You will have nothing and be happy. And you got people like that. I think he said useless eaters too, but you got people like that run, that control and run this world. So when she was like, she think that when she made that statement, like, oh, well, what we gonna do? Like, why would they gonna replace us? So what they gonna do with all the millions of people once they lose their jobs? I said, have you heard of the pandemic? Oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. But that's what I said to her. I said, if you don't think, and there's you can look and do the research, there's articles and statements written by these people that believe in culling the population of useless eaters. These are the people that run this thing. These are the people that run this world. So they won't have a problem creating and manufacturing some thing like they did back in 2020. That was just a test run, right? They won't have a problem manufacturing something like that to cull a percentage of the population that they deem as useless eaters. And that's the scary thing that a lot of people don't want to face, that how evil these individuals are. They don't care about nothing but themselves and their bloodline. The rest of the useless eaters, they can care less about them. So when she asked me specifically, well, what they gonna do with us? Hey, we are the useless eater population. They'll just figure out a way to dispose of us, however that may be. And they'll have a universal basic income, but that universal basic income is going to be another way to control us. It's going to be like it's kind of like when you get in government assistance, they have certain standards and certain rules that you got to go by. So they kind of control you in order for you to receive that government assistance. If you ever been on any type of government assistance, they got rules that you got to abide by, or else they'll snatch that away from you. And so with this UBI, it's going to be the same. It's going to be the same situation. They're going to give us just enough to eat and survive. That's all they're going to give us. They're not going to give us any more. They're going to give just enough to eat and survive. But that's it. And that's going to be the ultimate form of control. But let me see if I can finish the rest of this, and then we'll wrap. It's kind of a long article. Meta has made AI progress in fits and starts, but has lagged behind competitors in developing foundational models to catch up. Hell, that person is coming and speeding like that, bro. Hold on, y'all. I am at work. Crazy essay. Crazy essays, man. I'm back. But look, Meta has made AI progress in fits and starts, but has lagged behind competitors in developing foundational models to catch up. Mark Zuckerberg has spent more than $70 billion on AI investments like data centers, semiconductors, and real estate. Last year, he went on a spending spree to recruit the top AI researchers, including Meta's $14.3 billion investment in Scale AI, a startup. A group of Scale researchers and leaders joined Meta, including the company's chief executive, Alexander Wang. So basically, this article is talking about what is the future. And let's see some of these people's comments. Let's see. AI companies embody a drive towards extreme efficiency. They try to reduce their workforce as much as possible so that executives can earn large profits. In this sense, AI companies can be seen as symbols of unequal society. However, there is no need to be overly pessimistic. People are beginning to recognize the dehumanizing attitudes of some companies. As a result, executives may be forced to change their approach in response to public backlash from those who have been left behind. Companies that neglect the well-being and stability of the societies they operate in cannot survive in the long run. So, yeah, even the people in the comment section are saying it. Let me see. I'm sure all those people being laid off are excited about their universal basic income that the AI tech billionaires keep talking about. Yeah, that's basically what's going to happen, man. I mean, you know, we can this ain't no doom and gloom. Like this is looking at the reality of the situation. The reality of the situation, and if you know what these companies operate, if you know the purpose that these companies operate for, then you know that it's not far-fetched it's not far-fetched to believe that this is the reality. Because these companies exist to make a profit. That's it. That's all. There's no morals. There's no empathy. They exist to make a profit for their shareholders, their owners. And if we don't realize that, then I don't know what to say to you. I know that. I realize that. And so when I'm seeing these robots, because they got some of them around here in Southern California. You can go, you can see some of them. But yeah, that's the way it's going to be, y'all. I mean, it is what it is, right? No job, no career is safe. Once they perfect it, once they get it down, once they get it down to where they need it to be and it's perfected, then that's it. That's gonna be, you know, they coming for the white collar jobs. They coming for the blue collar jobs. They coming for the service jobs. They coming for all the jobs. No job is safe. And when millions of people, right here, we're just seeing tens of thousands of people being laid off. But when millions of people are going to be laid off, then they're going to have to figure out what they're going to do with these millions of people that no longer can work and earn a living. They're going to have some type of income, you know, to take care of these individuals. But just know this, that universal UBI guaranteed income is not going to be without its rules. We are going to be controlled. It's going to be controls. There's going to be surveillance. It's going to be monitoring. They're going to monitor us. They're going to have, I don't know how they're going to, or it's going to be electronic. It's going to be digital, but it's going to be controls on it and restrictions on it. So overall, I use AI. AI is a powerful tool. I use it in my daily life when I trying to make decisions on what I should do, right? So I'll ask the different AI platforms that I use the same question to see, okay, what they all saying. And if it's saying pretty much the same thing, I could pretty much, okay, this might be a good thing to do. But sometimes, sometimes ChatGPT might say one thing, and then Claude might say another thing. Gemini, I use it here and there, but I use it because it is a powerful tool. It is a powerful tool. And it's another thing why my sister that, was training me the other day, she couldn't understand, because she's like, oh, you go into that internet and that Google and that to look get your answers and stuff. I said, no, I'm not. I can use my own mind to come up, but what I do is I'll run something through the internet or the AI, because it has access to millions of data in the instance of a second. No human being has that capacity to access millions and millions of data in just seconds and minutes, but this AI does. So what I'll do, that's a powerful tool to use. I think, we were talking about, we were arguing back and forth about the cost of living here in Southern Cal and rents and stuff like that. And she was trying to tell me, oh, well, back in 2009, the rents out here, because I was telling her in 2009, I had an apartment and I was only paying $800 a month for that 2-bedroom apartment. And she was like, oh, well, I was paying $2,000. I looked at her like, come on now. You ain't paying no $2,000 in 2009. And she wanted to get all defensive and stuff. So I said, you know what? Let me just type it in Google. What was the average rent in LA County in 2009? Was nowhere near 2000. But she wanted to argue with it. She wanted to say, oh, that thing don't know everything. I said, well, okay, well, since it has access to millions and millions of data that we don't have access to, and it can just get it like that. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. But you guys, the future is kind of, I don't know. I could say it's kind of looking grim. It's not, it's not looking optimistic, but what can we do? With that being said, I do got to go do a round because I am at my just over broke in the guard shack, as you guys can see. But make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. And I'm gonna get this thing better the next time around. I'm gonna have my chat up and everything so we can interact. With that being said, I'm out. You guys like, share, and subscribe. And I'm gonna get this thing better the next time around. I'm gonna have my chat up and everything so we can interact. With that being said, I'm out.